Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. Don't know why my camera is not on right now. It should turn on any second. Yeah, today we are going to be starting, or kind of continuing, with the Discord integration through the Discord plugin. And this is just to kind of work on rewriting the plugin system. I don't know why my camera's not turning on. One second, let me try and figure this out first, because I don't know why it's not turning on right now. I'm just going to switch scenes a couple times and see if I can... Oh, hello! I'm over here, apparently. Okay, so that's scene 5, so I'll just deactivate it here. And then we should see it. There we go. Okay. Don't know why it was active on that one. But yeah, so this is the Discord plugin. So between streams, and yes, this is a random Wednesday stream, which I should probably announce in the Discord because it is a random Wednesday stream. So I need to announce it more than other streams. Okay, there we go. So that's done and dusted. So yes, between streams I've done a lot. So Git integration is done, or at least the MVP is done. That is actually in Railroad right now. I've also since then rewritten the plugin system. So Railroad now uses a plugin API, which is this one right here. And this is just a Gradle plugin. And it's pretty simple. If you just read the README here, basically all it does is it goes ahead and clones the version of Railroad that you specify. So you specify, for example, a commit hash, and a branch and a repo, and then it just clones that, and it adds the output of whatever the build task you set. So for example, jar, shadow jar, always going to be shadow jar for plugins, but well, it's probably always going to be shadow jar generally, but I've made this a little more abstract, so I can just set it to whatever if I want to. So yeah, that is just basically means that that will then be added to your dependencies and you can run it. So there isn't much to say about this, to be honest. It's actually incredibly simple. Like if I go into the build.gradle here, all that's required is this plugin here and this block to configure it, and that is it. Oh, other than in the settings.gradle, there needs to be this. Technically, could get rid of these as well and just have it be that, but you know, whatever. We'll have a plugin template at some point, so that won't be a problem. So yeah, you can see here I'm just using the dev branch, and and for the commit hash, I'm just using head, so that'll just be whatever the latest commit is. So nothing too special. Now the Discord plugin. So first of all, let's start with the GitHub plugin. So this one I've already updated, so this is up to date. And in doing so, I had to rewrite some of Railroad itself. I rewrote some of the settings system. Just fixed a load of shenanigans there. And also, big thing, I suppose, with Railroad itself, which I do have open, I think. Yep. So I have just yeeted Railroad core. That is just gone. All of that is now inside of Railroad itself. And all of the plugin API that used to exist is also inside of Railroad itself. So it's under plugin SPI. So pretty simple. I've just yeeted a bunch of stuff. I put a bunch of stuff together, and it just makes it all a lot easier. I don't know why I closed that. We're probably going to need that very shortly, actually. So I will open that back up. Okay. So this is the Discord plugin. Now, I wrote a lot of this. Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm so tired today. Okay, I wrote a lot of this quite a long time ago. By quite a long time ago, I mean quite a few months ago. I did rewrite it since then, but for the most part, it's the same. It's not that much different. All it does is just uses the Discord activity shenanigans. All in here. I basically just followed the docs, which I have linked in. I thought I had it linked in most of these files, but apparently I don't. Okay, this one I do. So yeah, I'm just following these docs. It just uses the game SDK. That's it. So that's actually pretty simple, and that's not something we're going to be messing with today. Since then, I've also been working on integrating this hide after minutes setting, so that would be like an inactivity timer. Currently that's set to 20 minutes as like the default value, which I think is fine. But yeah, that's been a pain to do because Railroad itself does not have any way to track mouse events. So that's been a pain. Like a real pain. But I've got all of this. I've got all this system in here, but I'm gonna probably move a lot of this into Railroad itself. So Railroad itself will therefore have the ability to like send out a key pressed event and a mouse clicked event, which then plugins can hook into. Because yeah, otherwise right now that is very impossible. Well, not impossible, but just horrible. I mean, you can see this code here. It's not nice. Granted, a lot of these is just handling like synchronization and also actually like shutting things down properly when they need to be shut down. But you can see a lot of this is so much simpler now. Things like this, though, I'm going to have to move into some registries class, which apparently I previously had, but I've somehow lost in the process. Not sure how that's happened, but it has happened. So, I mean, it's fine. It's just a little bit annoying. So yeah, I think we'll start with that today. I think we'll start with rewriting some of this so that we can actually send the input events from Railroad itself, and then this can listen to them. And then afterwards, we're going to work on actually having this plugin be customizable. So you see here, for example, I set up a display mode. So that would mean you can select application, project, document, and then each of those we're going to have different configurations for as well. But we'll do that afterwards. So, yes. Okay, let's start. Oh my god, I'm yawning so much today. Okay. So, let's get Railroad open. Okay, so this is going to be kind of tricky to do. I think let's start by... I don't know how we want to even send the events. Okay, we can deal with that in a minute, actually. Or can we? Yeah, we can deal with that in a minute. I think the best way to start here is to use the window manager. And basically, just use this to just keep track of windows. Because currently we do that. So here, for example, in Window Builder, we go ahead and register a child window. I think what the best thing to do here is, at this point, add some kind of tracking to that window. So, for example, at this stage, what we could do, I mean, I think what we probably want to do is we want to have some kind of like track window events, right? and pass in the stage. And then in here, what we will do is we'll first of all remove it, and then we will like have some kind of untrack window events, right? I think that's the best way to do that. So what we can do, we can have some kind of private final map, which will be a map of a stage to some kind of window events and window event map, like that. And then we'll create some kind of window events class. Now, track window events, let's make that next. So then we'll do private void track window events, and put that in there. And then we'll just do untrack window events, and we can do events.stop tracking or something. And then basically this will just handle all of our logic in there. We can actually probably make this public and return said events. Not that we're going to need it, but eventually maybe we will. So this can be void, that's fine, but we'll make it public. This could also return the window events, but I mean, I guess we might as well. Okay, so, I mean, first of all, we actually have to get the events here. So we have to do that. And then we can return that. There you go. Okay, so let's create this window events. Okay, and this just has a private final stage and a constructor. And then we can just do public void begin tracking. We can have a private. So here's where we have to define how we're actually going to handle this. I think we probably want a begin tracking, and we probably want a stop tracking, and then in here we will just call, I mean, actually we could just call events.begin tracking, like that. And here, because we actually do still need this how I had it before, so here we can just do events is not null, events.stop tracking, like that. Okay, so then both of those are being called, so we can deal with those. So in begin tracking, we want to do stage dot add event handler, and we'll do event type dot, and here's where we can kind of choose the event we want to use. Alternatively, we can probably do, I don't know if we have like a click. We actually don't. Interesting. I don't think, see how I did it in here. Hello wide, welcome to the stream. So I'm trying to remember how I did it in here. Attach input listeners. Here we go. That's basically what we want. So here we actually add it to the scene. But I think we can add it to the stage, and I think that's fine. So yeah, we are going to have some listeners. It could be worth possibly having a map of event type to an event handler. That's probably the best way to do this. Private final map of event type which will be this event type to event handler. Event handlers will be equal to a new hash map. And then here, we will probably want to initialize this like that, right? So then here, we can add back what we had before. Okay, then we want to do that. Okay. Sure, we'll put that in there for now. That's fine. Okay, so then what these need to do is, yeah, that, basically. Now, it's not going to like that, is the only problem. Because we don't know that these are going to be of the same type. So I would probably add event listener, and if I make this t extends event, and then I can do add event handler like that. Don't do that though. Or no, we don't want to do that, but we want to do this. So then all we need to do here is that. That doesn't need to exist. We can actually do extends event, I think. And I think that fixes our problem. It actually doesn't. It really doesn't like that for some reason. I mean, we can do that, but that's not ideal, is it? I mean, I guess if we do it like this, right, then we can do add event handler, event dot mouse. What is it? Events? No, it's events. Oh no, it's mouse events. Dot mouse. Dot any. I guess. What are we doing in Discord plugin? I am just doing key mouse clicked. But really any is what we want. I mean, we kind of want to use all of these in a way. So I mean, I can do that. So like we can do this. And I mean, that works. Right? This is probably what we want to do for the best kind of. So that's mouse clicked again, so that's just duplicated. So what we want then is exited. We've got moved, right? Yeah, we've got moved. Then we've got drag detected, mouse entered target, mouse exited targets. Maybe drag detected. And I don't know if this is the best way to do things. It's probably not. And then if we do the same thing basically for key event, then we have key pressed, key released, key typed, And I think there was another one. Yeah, no, never mind, those are fine. I mean, that's basically all the ones we want, realistically. Don't remove event handler. Yeah, that's the only problem. I mean, we can do privates. We can do like this, right? And then we can just try and do that. No reason that conforms to that. Yeah. I mean, can we do... I can't think if generics allows this or not, but if I do 4 each... Well, yeah, no, that won't work, I guess, will it? What if we do 4 each like this, and then we do this, colon, remove event handler? Unfortunately not. That's a shame. Is that... I think that might be because these don't extend event, though. What the hell? Oh dear. This is stupid. Okay. Okay, so that's obviously not the solution. In that case, the best way to do this will be to cast then, right? Doesn't like that though. And we can't do this, can we? How the hell do we fix the generics here? Okay, I'm gonna ask Codex because I don't know how to fix the generics here. This is a classic, like, generics are shit moment because this feels like it should work, right? Obviously it doesn't, but... Oh, wait, this isn't right. For some reason, the terminal keeps starting in, like, completely the wrong location. Like, why are we in source main right now? I did not ask it to go in source main. Like, what are we doing? It's kind of crazy. Okay, so... Can you help me fix the generics issue in window events? Let's just see if it can even... If it even has a clue. Only problem is it's not going to be able to compile, because every time it ever tries to compile, it doesn't work, which is kind of funny. Yeah, there you go. It didn't work. It's because it's not using the right Java version. I think my Java home on the Ubuntu distro is 25, not 21. What's it done? It's rewritten the whole file, apparently. Tracked event handler. Yeah, that would work. That would work, actually. That is probably, unfortunately, the best way to do this. It can be a record as well, though. So there's no need for the silly shenanigans, but yeah, that works. Because now they're of the same type. Or not of the same type, because this one could be a super of T, but now they're valid. Yeah, that would be the best way, unfortunately. Okay, well that's fine. That's kind of fixed that for us. So that was the easy part. Now we just have to find a way to send this through to, well, for the plugins to access, and more specifically to be used here. I think they are fine here, right? Yeah, because that tracks that and then that untracks that. I'm going to do the same thing with the primary window, though. So, okay, so first of all, if this dot primary stage is not equal null, then untrack window events. This dot primary stage, and then what we will do is at the very end we will track window events. This dot primary stage, and then that means that if it has them, it will untrack them. If it doesn't, it just won't do anything. So that's fine. Okay. That's basically everything we need. Now we just need to send these events over. So, best way to do this, let's create, so we go plug in SPI events we have in here. We can make some events. So, what we will do, actually I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to bring this over to my other monitor real quick. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to create some classes for basically each of these events. I think that's the best way to do this. So we'll create a, actually what we'll do, we'll create a interface first, which will be a generic mouse event. And this will extend event. Actually, what we can do even, we can do a generic input event, which extends events, and have a little bit of hierarchy here. So then what we can have is we can have the generic mouse event extend the generic input event, and then we can also duplicate that for a generic key event. And then we can create a new class. So a record probably. Let's do a, oh actually with the mouse event, what we can do is we can have a mouse event, get mouse event. But I'm wondering if we want to just maybe, can I download sources, by the way? I should probably enable that, shouldn't I? Download. Where's that? Is it in Gradle? I think it's in Gradle. Nope, it's not. Oh, it's kind of is, because it's in there, but that's fine. There are definitely sources for this. What do you mean? Okay, whatever. Doesn't really matter. No, I think let's just wrap the mouse event. I don't see any need to do anything different. Yeah. That's the best way to do that, I think. So let's actually have a new package for inputs. And then do that. Okay. Other thing I'm gonna want to probably do at some point is rename these to like document event, document modified event, document renamed event, but we'll come back to those later on. They're less important. So let's start with mouse clicked event, which will take in a mouse event, and they'll implement generic mouse event. And I'm just going to do event, and then we can just keep it like that. And I suppose what we can do is we can pass some things through. So we can have like a get screen X, get screen Y, get scene X, get scene Y. Sure, let's do those, I guess. So double. I mean, yeah, we can kind of just do it like this even. Okay, like that. And then we can also do mouse button. Mouse button. Get button. Okay. And then basically I'm just going to copy paste these for all the rest. So that's mouse clicked. Then we have mouse moved. Then we have mouse pressed. Then we have mouse released. Then we have mouse. Oh, I can't scroll whilst I have this dialogue open. That is unfortunate. Dragged, entered, exited. Dragged. Entered. I cannot spell. Or I cannot type, I should say. Entered. Then we have exited. Then we have mouse drag detected. Okay, that's all the mouse ones. Then we're gonna basically copy that kind of and do a key pressed, which will take in a key event and implement generic key events. So we'll do key events, events. Now, I don't know what we can get from a key event compared to a mouse event. So we can get the character. Character and text. I don't really know what the difference is there. I don't really know what the differences. Apart from this one giving an undefined character. Okay, well we can just do get text. Get character, get text, get code, and then the other ones can just, they'll be fine. So string get character. This will be default though. Return event.get character, get text, and we'll also have default key code, get code. Okay. So then we can do key pressed. Nice. Okay. Then we can just duplicate this, so we can do the next one, which is key released and key typed. Okay. So I'm wondering if there's a way we can not buy the event if we don't have any listeners. Not easily, I suppose. Okay, well that's fine. So let's go. Where am I? Window events. So now all we need to do in here is do railroad.eventBus.publish new mouse clicked event. Hello Lone Wolf, welcome to the stream. Okay, hopefully Copilot can kind of do this all for us. Okay, not really, no. It's already getting a little bit lost, it seems. Yep, it's trying to do a new mouse event. Copilot, come on, man. New mouse pressed event. What am I doing wrong? Need another bracket or parenthesis, I should say. Why what is this madness? Copilot is so bad sometimes. Oh my god, I cannot type. Mouse. That's dragged. Moved. You actually just can't trust it, I guess. Now it's entered. Thank you. Okay, finally. Because it's probably done a wildcard import now. Hence why it thinks it's fine. You should give Wide mod since it's mod on your server. Wide is mod, I think. Oh, he's not, apparently. Okay, now he is. Okay, railroad.eventBus.publish new key pressed event. Key released, and finally key typed. Yes, he is, because I literally just made him mod, so yes, he is. Okay, there you go. And nice. Okay, we're basically done. Yeah. So now, if we go ahead and... Now, the only problem is I do actually have to commit this to GitHub to be able to test this within the plugins. I was answering you when you said he isn't mod. Well, then you need to update the stream because you're like 10 minutes behind. So... yeah, that's gonna do that on those, and then it is gonna hopefully do it for the primary stage as well. This isn't even used. That's good to know. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not sure about this though, guys. I don't know if this is the best way to do this. Because we are just making a record around a class, like we're not doing anything special. I think for now it's fine. I mean, later we might decide to add more data to them. I don't know. But now I think it's fine. So I guess I have to commit this, don't I? So let's do that. Okay. No, not this. Why are we opening that? Okay, yeah, this. Is that all that we changed? I think so, right? Yeah, the only other thing is we might want like some actual window events, possibly. Because we can also add other events to the window, right? We don't just have to have these ones. If we look at event type, not that event type. The JavaFX one, this one. And is it in here? Wait, where the hell is the event types? Is it actually in a class called event types? Maybe? Is that a thing? Event types. Oh no, it was in a subclass, wasn't it? That's annoying. It was in, you had like mouse events, and then that was where the mouse events were. Okay, well, do you have window events? That's actually a thing, right? Yes, but what is in it? Showing, shown, hidden, hiding, hidden, close request. Not really needed. Not really needed. I mean, I guess I can look for usages of that, right? Will that help me? That finds me basically all the events. Okay, that's JavaFX Media, but that's not... Where's the JavaFX ones? That's JavaFX Web. What is going on here? Where's just normal, plain old JavaFX? No. I am actually going to rename these. Am I? It's going to break everything. Actually, no, it's only going to break the Discord plugin, of which we are working on right now anyways. So that's fine. So we'll do document events. Event type. Okay, interesting. And then we'll do document modified events. And we'll do document renamed events. Okay. This one's a little bit confusing though. Why is this even a thing? Oh, this is for like the generic document events, right? Okay, well in that case I should make a generic document event, I feel like. Which extends event. Okay, and then that then extends that. That extends that. And that extends that. Okay. That's fine. Okay. We're making progress. So I think if I now push all of this to GitHub. Now, only problem is this is actually gonna yeah, I guess I just have to, I mean, I might as well just delete this branch, let's be honest, because if I'm rewriting the plugin system, I can't actually commit it to... I guess the only problem is actually checking out dev isn't going to work, because what's in my stash changes? What the hell? What the hell? What have I just done? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Wait, what have I just done? Wait, how have I just broken things? What the fuck have I just done? Excuse me? I didn't have any changes on dev. Like, how have we just... I mean, it's all in the stash, right? So I can just discard these. But like, why did it just do that? I genuinely don't know why it just did that. What? And now we've just got conflict again? Even though they're in the stash? What is happening? Okay, you're not fine. I'll just do it through IntelliJ, right? Because I can do that, I think. If I just go stash, like these aren't conflicting. There's no conflicts here. So if I just apply conflicts unstashing, what do you mean? What? What are we doing? Deleted, modified. There's. I think I just want theirs on all of them. I guess. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay, so what has that just done? Why do I still have stash changes? What do you mean? What's in my stash? I don't understand. Bro. Do I just discard the stash then? Bring my changes. Okay, I managed to bring my changes back. But now I'm... What? Now I have conflicts again. What the actual flying for doodle cakes is happening? This does not make sense. I'm so confused. I'm sorry. What a crazy conflict. Excuse me? They're the exact same. It's the same. They're all the same. There's no conflict. This is so ridiculous right now. I actually don't believe what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna have to like build it and check that things work. Yeah, I think so. I was just going to run it and make sure it runs. And also make sure nothing crazy happens when I open Windows. Oh god. Okay. Oh god, I'm lagging. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so I'm just going to commit this. I'm just going to commit it. And I don't know what's going to happen with these stash changes because I don't know what they are or why they're there. But I'm just going to commit and see what happens, I guess. Okay, Copilot can generate the commit message for us. It's probably just going to say added events. Yeah, I don't know. Introduce document events and window. Yeah. So, I mean, no. The actual message is better than. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so if I commit that and I push that, what is going to happen to these stash changes that are somehow here and not actually doing anything? I don't got a clue. Discard, I guess? Okay, I'm also going to switch to dev and see what the hell's going on in dev. Okay. I think we've got rid of the jank. Should just check that it still builds and stuff. I mean, it should. Yeah, it has. Okay, that's fine then. Okay, so now that I've done that, we can go ahead and find that commit. And we can actually just use that now. Or, well, no, we don't even need to, because I'm using head. We're using head. So... if we are using head, then we can come into here. And actually, all we need to do is reload, I think. Is that right? I think so. We might have to run compile Java. See what it does. Okay. In that case, we actually have to run, I guess, the specific task manually. Or we can try build, because build will run it. Okay, so that worked. So if I now do mouse pressed... no, that hasn't worked. I didn't think that would work. Interesting. So fetch get dependency was apparently up to date, which it shouldn't have been. Yeah, that should not be up to date. Okay. Well, in that case, I can just delete git deps. It's not ideal because it does mean it's going to take a while to recompile it all, but it will do. Okay. We're just going to have to wait a minute now. Now, we can actually go ahead and, whilst this is doing it, we can get rid of those. All we need to do here is say, So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of that. I guess what we can do is we can say railroad dot event bus dot subscribe to. I actually forgot how you subscribe to events. I think you just give it the class. I think. Maybe? Generic key press key event or generic key event dot class. Can I do that? Mark user interaction. I don't know what this will do, by the way. Subscribing to a generic event. I don't remember how the system works, to be honest. Oh, actually, we'll need to do. Oh, actually, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can just do this basically. So key pressed handler. So this will need to be a consumer of a generic key event, and this will need to be a consumer of a generic mouse event, like that. It doesn't like that for some reason. That T exists so that consumer conforms. Huh. I mean, this is just an event listener, actually. So maybe if I just make these event listeners. Yeah, that fixes it. Okay. That's fine then. Okay, so then all we have to do here, so this .windows listener, this just doesn't need to exist, I don't think. And neither does tracked scenes. So then all we do here. Yeah, so I still want that, but instead I just want to do that and that. Now, that is a problem, actually. We cannot unsubscribe. It's not possible to unsubscribe. Yeah. That is a problem. What is this called? That's on shutdown. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to go back to Railroad, and we're gonna have to go into the event bus. And we're gonna have to implement unsubscribing. Now, this is gonna be easier said than done, I think, but we will see. So if we go implementation, and we'll go unsubscribe. Let's see. This does not remove listener if listener is empty. So yeah, I mean that's correct, to be honest. Publish. Let's see what this does. Entry.key is assignable from. I think that will work actually for like more just generic types. Once again, I mean we're gonna have to push this, unfortunately, to be able to actually like get it to work, but okay, so if I push that, and then I'm actually gonna switch branch and delete this branch because we don't Well, the actually only reason I can't really do that is because I need the upstream, or I need the remote to be upstream dev, not origin dev. So actually, I am going to stay on this branch for now. Because yeah, otherwise that's just going to cause me a bunch of problems. So okay, let's come into here and let's go ahead. We're going to have to just delete this again. Unfortunately, I think. I mean, we can try and run fetch again. It should work. I don't know why it thinks it's up to date. Okay. Well, that's fine then. We'll do that. Okay, so then we can build get dep. Wait, actually, don't do that because I will want to publish. So actually, let's just run compile Java. That would just make it the best, easiest way to do that. Oh, rude. Better to create an MD5. Interesting. I guess let's just delete the entire thing. Excuse me? Who's touching you? Who on earth? Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna IO bit unlocker it. And we'll just get whoever is in there out of there. So unlock and delete. Okay. There you go. So it should be gone now. Nice. So if we run compile Java again. So it's going to clone. And then. Yeah, so head is add unsubscribe to event bus, which is the last commit we did. And then it's going to build. And then it's going to publish. So it's running build now. I think this should work. I don't see why not. Yeah, so that just unsubscribes in. So this doesn't need to exist. That doesn't need to exist. Oh. And then, yeah, okay. What we can do, I mean, it's very minor, but we can put these inside those if statements. Probably would get cut out anyways by the JVM, but might as well just possibly save on some microseconds. Next thing is cursors. I think for now cursors is going to stay the same. But we could use like mouse dragged or mouse moved. Though I mean, that's editor cursors, right? I guess there isn't really any need for that. Admittedly. Is there? Because if we already have control over the key pressed and the mouse, if we, we have control over, this should also not be key pressed. This should be key event handler. Key event handler. But if we already have control over the mouse events and the key events, then we don't need to listen to the cursor, right? So yeah, let's get rid of the cursor polling task then, which is actually going to save us a bunch of code. So like that doesn't need to be there. This doesn't even need the context anymore. In fact, I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to delete some things and then we'll go from there. So, cursor holding task doesn't need to exist. Last name cursors doesn't need to exist. I think the rest are all fine though. So if we just come down here, so that can go, that can go. Inactivity scheduler may also, I think, can also go. I believe. Inactivity scheduler. I think that can go. Yeah. That can go. This can just be register input listeners, so we can fix that where that's needed. Schedule hide activity class. Oh, never mind. That is needed for that. Take it back. That is needed. Okay, I mean, the rest, I think, is fine. I think that's all we need. Register, so that just does that. Unregister just basically does the same thing. Publish activity, that's fine. So that just makes sure it hides the activity before it updates it, which is fine because it needs to do that, otherwise it might accidentally hide it after it updates it, which you obviously wouldn't want. So that's fine. Restore activity if hidden. Fine. Clear and forget. Fine. Okay. I think that is everything. So the next thing to do then is the actual display mode. Now, before I do that, I'm going to commit what we have so that we kind of are going in stages here. Now I'm just going to quickly do a format and import and stuff. Make sure everything's all nice. And see if Copilot can give us a good commit name that describes this commit. Add idle tracking to hide Discord activity. Yes, well done. Okay, lovely. So in that case, next best thing, display mode. So yeah, display mode is going to be interesting. Also, the other thing, I'm just thinking there's a lot of like things happening in this single class. Just wondering whether we can like try and move some of it out. Possibly. I think we probably can. So I mean, basically, I can move all of these into their own class. Yeah, I think we can do this. Okay, so I'm going to take all of those. I'm going to create a new class. So we'll call this like inactivity manager, maybe? Right, we'll keep those in there. And then we'll just have a private inactivity manager. It's going to be final, actually. Like that. And this will be... We can have a setter for this. So we can have a public void set hide after minutes supplier. Like that. Can even use Lombok as well. So then we can do this dot inactivity manager set and just set it to that. Probably actually do want to keep the method here though, because if it's null, that's going to be a problem. And if it's null, I guess we can just do supplier is equal that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so then all of these, basically, I just want to move into that class. So I'm going to put these all in here. Now, obviously, these are going a lot of these are going to require the Discord core and also the logger. So we'll take in those as parameters. So our private final Discord core and a private final logger. And we'll set these in the constructor. Now that does mean, unfortunately though, that this can't be final and it can't be initialized there. It will have to be initialized in on enable, but that's fine. It's not inactivity manager is equal that, and here we can do this dot inactivity manager dot initialize inactivity tracking. So this one will need to be public then. Okay. Then here, so publish activity actually. Publish activity is one of the things. Okay. I mean, we can make it public then. And we can make this public. Okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, it will work. Make that public. That's public. Okay, I'm actually more inclined to call it just like activity manager, maybe, rather than inactivity manager. I don't know though. Okay. Here I also just want to set that, so this dot inactivity manager is null. Probably want to do the same thing here. If this dot inactivity manager is not equal null, then do that. Here, kind of do the same thing actually. Also, probably should do those there as well. I mean, here, actually, to be honest, I could just call on disable, except context. And I mean, that would work. It's not perfect, but that would work. Okay. just check in. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's commit this as well then before we continue on. Give it a second. Okay. So now we can go into here. I'm actually going to move this into activity. It's not really related, but it's kind of fine, I think. Actually, I'm going to amend that commit to do that. So amend commits. Amend. There we go. Okay. Oh, we have an error with Nora. Okay, that's fine. Alright. So now for the hard bit. Also close some of these shenanigans that we don't want. Okay. Yeah, so now for the hard bit. So now we have to have a way to change how it's displayed depending on whatever the user sets. So currently we are just kind of hard coding these activity builders. I guess what we're going to want is we're going to want some kind of method that creates these builders based on based on basically the display mode. But specifically it's going to need some context, right? So okay, first of all, I think I want to make some kind of like settings class. Because otherwise I see it being a bit of an issue of like actually accessing these settings from anything, right? So maybe having some kind of just like private Discord or private plugin settings. Oh, if I could type plugin setting. Oh, that's already a class. Okay. Discord plugin settings, and then after all of these settings are created, just setting this.settings to be equal to that, and then at the very end in here, we can just this.settings is equal null, like that. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, we could move these actually into this class, right? And not even have them in here. Like, we don't need them in here. That's actually probably a better way to do things, isn't it? Yeah, let's do that. I like that idea. And that means they can even be final as well. So we can have, like, private final. Okay. There's, yeah, going to be some small issues, but I think we can fix all of them. So, yeah. So let's just do suppress warnings unchecked real quick. Okay, so default client ID is going to yap for a little bit. So let's just move that in so it stops yapping. And then that's basically it. That kind of basically solves our problem. So we can even then just do this directly, which is even easier. because that will then automatically go ahead and register those settings. And then we could even have a method in here, public void unregister settings, right? And then down here we can do this.settings dot unregister, and then this.settings is null. And then here, for example, so what I'm going to do with these settings is I'm actually going to make them public, since they're final. I'm not going to add any like getters or anything. I'm even actually going to make this class final as well. Okay, and then that means we can just do this dot settings dot hide after minutes. Look how much nicer that is. That's actually quite nice. I might even see if we can go about like enforcing that as like a plugin thing, like a normal plugin thing. Having kind of that kind of setting class might be a very good idea. Yeah, that's worth considering maybe. As I say these things, and I will probably just completely forget them after the stream, so you know, we will see. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's cleaned that up a lot. This class is now much smaller. Now, kind of what we do have left here though is a lot of event listening. And just like a lot of validation. I'm wondering if maybe, because we do have a fair amount of like duplication as well. Like for example, getting this application info, we're getting that about 3 times. So it could be worth just shoving that above all of them up here. And then just like saying, if that's null, don't even bother proceeding, right? Because then we just don't like need this. So I mean, this can just be, I mean, to be honest, if it's null, like the plugin shouldn't even start, right? So we should just throw an exception. Like that. Application info service. Okay, I'm just going to rename that to application info. That's fine. And then this can go. Oop, not all of that. Just this. And that. Okay, this part's a little bit messy. I'm not a huge fan of this. But okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if we can kind of collapse all of these activity shenanigans, that'd be quite good. Here I can kind of do the same thing, so we can just do that. I mean, actually, no, that's fine, because, yeah, that won't be anything when it's actually created. Like when the plugin is enabled, the IDE state service might not exist, whereas the application info service will always, or should always exist. So that's fine to do it there. Yeah, I think these are fine. Okay. Okay. So let me also commit this as well. I'm just trying to make sure I'm actually always committing things when I should commit them. So that's, yeah, hell of a cleanup. That's all very nice. Can we get a commit message for that? A good one? Extract plugin settings. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I almost pushed then. I didn't quite want to do that yet. Okay. So now we just have to do something with the display mode. So here's where I'm going to make a... So first of all, I'm going to create a Discord package inside of activity. Put them in there. And then I'm going to create an activity manager. Just so it's separate, because there is a Discord activity manager, right? Which is this one. And this is more of an activity builder, but in fact, it kind of is an activity builder. Well, we'll call it a manager for now. So let's look at how these are created again. No, it just does this in activity manager.publish. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. In that case, I'm going to get rid of the activity manager, and I think I'm going to rename the inactivity manager to the activity manager. Yeah, I think that's better because then it makes more sense. Then it's activity manager.publish activity rather than inactivity manager.publish activity, which doesn't really make sense. I am though gonna have an activity builder, which is gonna be a way for me to go ahead and create the actual activity based on like some information. So I think we should have like activity types. So there should be like different or activity states, I suppose, for different things. So for example, we have in projects, we have editing file, we're just going to have also modding Minecraft, right? Those are 3 different states. So I think let's have a public enum, or it doesn't need to be inside of this class though, so we can create it here. Activity state. Okay. So we can have editing document. We can have viewing document, sure, because you might have that. Idle, I don't think we're gonna do idle. We're just gonna have it just hide the status completely if you're not actually doing it. We can have what was the other one? In project or something? What do I typically refer to it as? In project, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fine. In project and in railroad. We could also have like in settings. In settings, maybe. We could also have like we could have other things later. I think we'll ditch in settings for now because we don't have actually a way to access that information. But later on, that's certainly a thing we could have. Okay, so yeah, these are fine. So what we'll take in actually is the activity manager. Or no, we can take that in when we like call like a build method or something, right? Or something. Sure. Yeah, I guess we can have this information like that, but we're not going to set those like directly. So what we'll have is we'll have we need some more important ones. So a private final activity state, which will be the activity state. And then we're also going to take in the private final Discord plugin settings. Discord plugin settings, which will be the settings. So those will probably determine some of what we have here. Okay. And then what does build return? A Discord activity. Okay. So that's fine. So we can have a public Discord activity build. And I think that is a thing. I just don't think it works exactly like that. Yeah, I think there's like a set timestamps or something. Right? Set state. There's get timestamps. I think you use get timestamps. Either way, this should be like a builder. So Discord activity.builder. Return Discord activity.builder. Dot. Yeah. I think there is start at and end at. So these currently take in instance. I think we can make them take in a millisecond time, right? So public builder. Yeah, basically that. Public builder end at. Okay. Nice. We will actually take in an instant here though. So I guess those methods aren't really necessary. But yeah, we will actually do that. And then so I mean, there's obviously other things because you've got like buttons, and basically all of those shenanigans, right? So I'm just wondering, maybe is that what we want to do? You know what we'd be better off having, actually? We'd be better off having a private final Discord activity.builder, right? And then here, just return this.builder.build. Now this could maybe take in the activity manager, and then it could do so this would be the activity, and then we can do manager dot publish activity, and then return the activity. Okay, so I'm trying to think how we want to do this. I'm trying to like plan for if the user wants to set lots of different data. If we go, for example, into this Discord plugin, right? You can see there's a bunch of information that you can basically put on here. That's for application. Then you got for project. You got for file. I mean, basically, file has project and application stuff. Project has project and application stuff, and then application just has application stuff. So that's basically how that works, I think. JetBrains IDE. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Whatever. So this actually has a toggle while idle, show idling, keep showing rich presence, hide completely. Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah, that is probably a better way to do things. I'm actually gonna change that to hide completely. I didn't even realize that was a setting, but I actually do want that to be hide completely instead. I think that would just be better generally. Okay, so you've got first line. So what's first line? Project name dash description. Okay, so that's right. Okay. So if I look at my own right now, I suppose. Okay, so that's just got Railroad Discord plugin as that right now. Then as the second line, we have the file name. So the file name it's got right now is just editing Discord plugin.java. Then you have the large icon, which has got the Java one. Then you got the large icon text, which is just like the tooltip for that. So currently that's Java, which is just file language. Then you got the small icon, which I assume just says, oh, that says the version. Okay. Sure. And then show elapsed time tells it what to show the elapsed time of. Okay. Okay, I see. Prefix file names with reading, editing. Okay, so you can choose to init. Okay, that's pretty good. And then hide VCS ignored files. That's probably something we should do. Okay. How are things? Have you made excellent progress today? We have actually made pretty good progress today, yes. So far. We still have a while left, though. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, chat, is I'm gonna just screenshot what this has. And then I'm gonna put it on my other monitor so that we can figure out how to structure that as data. So if we go into the settings real quick. Okay. I'm just wondering. So I mean, basically what we want is we want some kind of like public static method. Create. But then some way to like set these pieces of data. I don't really know how to do this. I guess it needs to read it from the settings, right? So yeah, okay, so from the settings it will then go ahead and read those pieces of data. So the first thing it needs to determine is which mode it's in. So let's have a private void apply settings state, or apply So this is where things get complicated. So in the settings, we will have to store different data for each different mode. Now, I don't really think we have... I guess we can just use a map, right? Like, we can just use a public final setting of map of display mode to a display content or something, right? Or yeah, display content. And then obviously the codec we'll figure out in a second. Yeah. So then we just have to do the codec, of course. So codec is going to be a little bit complicated, of course, because that's going to have to like build the UI, and it's going to have to serialize and deserialize this map. But I mean, it should be doable. Okay. What we can do. So let's create this display content class first. So I'm going to create a new package called settings. I'm just going to move plugin settings into there. And then I'm also going to create my display content class in here. And we're also going to have the codec in here somewhere as well. So the codec, so the display content is going to need to be just a data class, right? With a no args constructor and an all args constructor. And this is going to be, it's going to have a private string first line. We're going to have a private string second line. We're going to have a private string third, no third line. No, we're not going to have a third line because there isn't a third line. Then we have a large icon. So I'm just seeing, let me have a look again how like the icon works. Okay, so you've got file, application, none, which I guess depends on... I mean, you can set custom. I don't know how that works, though. I don't know how I don't know how custom works in terms of like Discord itself. I mean, I guess I can look actually. I can look at my code and I can look to see how I've handled custom. I mean, it's going to be a string, so it's going to be a string large icon, and then it's going to have a private string large icon text, and then it's going to be a private string small icon text, and then a private so for the next thing is the elapsed time. It's just how do we handle elapsed time? What do we What data type is that? I guess it's a... I mean, it's an enum, I guess. So we would have like a public enum elapsed time type. And then we'd have a private elapsed time type. And then we can also have the buttons as well. So we can have string button 1 label, button 1 URL, button 2 label, button 2 URL. Because you can have... How many buttons can you have? Discord activity buttons. It is just 2, right? I don't think you can have... yeah, you can't have more than 2. Is that right? Looking if I can find the reference. Yes, you can also, the only other thing you can have so you can also have party size and a party size max. But I don't think, at least for now, we're not going to have that kind of thing. So, I mean, let's think about elapsed time anyways. So we're going to have application start. We're going to have project open. We're going to have file open. And none, I guess, are the 4 ones. What does IntelliJ have? Like, is there any others I'm not thinking of? As you got application active, application total, project active. I see. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna have that. I will rename that to hide though. That is better. Okay. So the way these are gonna work is they're just gonna store variables in them, right? So you'll just have like, yeah, application name, right? It'll just be like that. So that's fine. And okay, so let's create the codec. So I'm gonna create up here private static final setting codec, I think they're called. I'm trying to remember how this works. I think T is the type, so I think this will be the map of display mode to display content, and then it will be the type of the node, which will be a just activity. I'm just trying to think. Display layout pane. It should be display content codec will be equal to. I think it's setting codec.builder. Yeah. And then what do you do after that? Do you do the ID? I think you can just pass that in the builder, no? Yeah, you can. I thought so. So that would be Discord display content like that. Then I'm going to look at setting codecs. Default setting codecs, actually. so that I can see where it goes from there, because I don't remember. Okay, can't get sources. That's unfortunate. So next one is node to value, which is going to be display layout pane to map, sure. And then we will do value to node will be map, comma, pane, pane dot load map or something like that. JSON encoder will do first. So this will be the map. Okay, and then we'll have a JSON object. Okay. Value.toJSON. That's fine. We can add that in a second. And then we have JSON decoder, which will take the JSON and just do the reverse. And we're going to do that. And then also going to want create node as well, which will actually create the node itself. Let's just check this is fine. So that's an entry of a display mode, display content. Wait, no, that's not right. It's a string and a JSON element. That's what I thought. Okay. String, JSON element. Wait, that's not right though. Right. Oh, I guess I want a JSON array of JSON objects actually. Don't know. That would be better. Okay. Okay, so if JSON is an array, then we go for each element in the array. If it's an object, then we grab it as an object. Then for each entry, we go display node dot from name. Okay. We've got from translation key there, but I don't think that's necessary. I guess we can just use, we could use value of, but I think value of throws, right? Yeah, so that's not really ideal. And then that'll be display content equals content.from JSON. That's fine. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's just complaining because of this. We'll come back to that. No, it just returns a rate. That's not correct. So we can do bar pane is equal to new, do that, return it, and then we need to do dot build. Okay. So now we need to create this class. So do new package UI and create this. This is just going to extend. I don't really know what it's going to extend. I guess just an RRV box probably. Would be the easiest way. This will be a map of display mode to a display content. Okay. Okay, so we'll just store in here a private vinyl map is equal to a new hash map. Okay, and then we will just, I don't think that should be static. Yeah, that shouldn't be static. That should just be like that. Doesn't like that though. Node to value. Oh, because I think I need to specify the type here. So I think I need to do this basically. Yeah. And then I can do that. Let's just paint.to map. That doesn't now need to take that in though. So then I can get rid of that, and it can go back to like that. Okay, nice. We can have paint.load map. Clear, get children.clear. And then we can do build build children. Because that's going to be a bit of a complex method. It's not going to be super simple. Okay. That's actually not going to do that. Never mind. Get rid of you. Okay, to JSON. JSON objects. Yeah, you can do all that. That's fine. And how does that do this one? Okay, that's fine, yeah. And then public. That's probably correct. That can just be ignored. That all looks fine to me. Okay, nice. Return array. Nice. Okay, so now all we need to do is make sure this uses that codec, like that. Okay. Now, should really have an actual default value is the problem here. So we're gonna have to come up with some defaults in a second. I will create a public static vinyl map of display mode, display content, default values is equal to a new, well, it'll be equal to map.of, and then we'll figure that out. And then I can just do display content dot default values. Okay, nice. Yep, so that loads it there. Okay, so next is then actually creating the UI. Clear. That's we just want to put all, right? I mean, this could be an observable map, and that way the children would basically build themselves, but is that really worth it? Not really. So private void build children. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I mean, I'm basically gonna do the exact same thing IntelliJ's is. It's not gonna be much different, I don't think. We will actually do an RRH box though, so that we can have a preview on the left. So we will have a var preview is equal to new preview, and then that will just take in this .content map like that. That will have to be, I guess, then an observable. Well, no, I guess that's fine. Because yeah, I guess it will have to be an observable map because we'll have to know when that content changes. So we will do that. Okay. Okay, then we are gonna have the actual like thing. So this is gonna be var editor is gonna editor container is gonna be a new RRV box. I guess we could have just a new, well, yeah. And then we get the content. So this is the display content. And then we have the editor below that, set on content changed. Okay. And then that adds that to there. No. No. So what we want is kind of like a tabbed thing. I mean, they have it as tabs. I don't know if we want it as tabs. We can have it as a combo box, I think would be better. So we can have mode selector is equal to a new RR combo box. We don't actually have that, but we do have a localized combo box, which will be of display mode. So localized combo box, display mode. That does take in something, so that's the key function. So that will just be display mode : get translation key, like that. Set that, select first, add that. Okay, and then we create a map of display mode to a display content editor, like that. Is a container. Yeah, that's fine. And then we add that editor container. Okay, nice. So now we just have to make these actual UI components. Now, display preview pane. That one's going to be a pain in the bum. We'll come back to that one. Let's create the content editor because this one should be nice and easy. So this will just be an RRV box as well. Now, does this have a constructor that takes in? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that would just be like the default values and stuff. That's fine. Okay. So let's have, I mean, I'm basically just going to do what IntelliJ has, I think. Would be the best way. Yeah, I think so. So okay. So what we can have is a private string, which will be the we can have string property, which will be the first line property. Like that. And then second line. And then string property, which will be the large icon key. And then a string property for large icon text, small icon key, small icon text, basically replicating display content here. And then we have a, which will be the, or this will be, I guess, object property of a elapsed time type. And then we have button 1 label, button 1 URL, button 1 da 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 da. Okay. And then I guess we start off probably just by setting these. So this dot first line property dot set to content dot get first line icon. That I would agree actually should be large icon key. And same with small icon key. And I just need to make sure I change those in here as well. Key. And there. Is that everywhere? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Small icon, da da da. If content dot, no, that should just be like that. I think that's all of those. And then what we want to do is build the actual UI. So we just want to have a bunch of H boxes, basically. So var first line row is equal to a new RRH box, which will be like size of 2 maybe. So we start off by adding get children, or we can have a first line label equal to a new localized label, which will be Discord dot settings dot display content dot first line. Yeah, basically that. Then this will be first line placeholder. Okay, and then we have No, that's the text field. So this will be the first line. Combo box be equal to a new localized combo box. Okay, like that. Okay, that doesn't need to change. Is it editable? No. We don't want it to be editable. So we want to add the values. So let's have a list of string. I guess we could have a map of display mode to a list of string, which will be the first line options. Like that. Which will be list. So we'll have a display mode dot projects, which will be a list dot of, and we will have Discord project dot name, project path, project dots. And what else can we have? We can have Git URL. We could have branch. We could have commit hash. Sure. Commit message would be a bit silly, I think. I guess we could have it. Sure. We will want custom as well, but we're not gonna just want custom, so we'll have commit author, I guess. Yeah, we can have like data about the project, so we could have the so build tool. Sure, would be fine, I guess. Language doesn't make sense, of course, so this could be something like mod loader. We could have Minecraft version. We could have loader version. Is there anything else that we could have? Like like mod name? Mod name. We could have mod, sure, version, I guess. We could have mod ID. I think that's basically all the ones we would have. Oh, wait, I just realized I've kind of been doing this wrong. Yeah, okay. I put in here all of the options. These shouldn't be all of the options. Okay. So what? Right. Okay. So I should have a private static final list of string. All options. No, it should be a map of a string to a string. Is equal to a new. Is equal to map.of. Okay, and then this would be project name. Like that. Then we could have project path. We can have git URL. Oh, I put colons. I meant to put commas. Then we could have git branch. I'm doing it again. Colons. Then we can have git commit hash. And then we can have git commit message. We could have git commit timestamp. Oh, wait, author. But we can have timestamp too. Git commit time. That's what I was looking for. Then we could have build tool. I put colons again. We can have mod loader. I put a colon. Oh my god, I can't stop putting colons. I'm just thinking I'm writing JSON right now. Minecraft version. Loader version. Mod name. I think I've gone over the limit, haven't I? Mod version. Mod ID. Yeah, I thought so. Does it let you convert it to, I wonder? Into declaration and initialization? No. IntelliJ should let you turn it into a new hash map like this. But well. Okay, so I'll just have to do perps like that. Which isn't the end of the world, I mean. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, maybe should have done this the other way around. Oops. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I guess I should have... I'm going to have a list of string, which will be the... I mean, these are only the project options, I guess. So these will be the project options. Yeah. And then... Okay, and then we can have a similar map, which can be for the... I guess actually we need application options first, don't we? So we need string. Oh my god. String application options. We've got name, version, path doesn't make sense. Is there anything else we can put in here? Name, version. Not really, right? That's kind of it, I suppose. Yeah, I think so. Just application name and version. And then we're going to want some file ones. Map of string, which will be, or document options. So we will have a bunch of different document options. So we'll have document name, document path, document type, and then we can have like specific ones. So we could have like language is one of them, yes. Not the one I was thinking of. Line count, yes, we could do that. Word count doesn't really make sense. We can have documents. Caret line, caret column. We could have caret offset, I guess. Sure. We could have file size, so like document size, bytes. We could have short size human, I guess, which would be like a more readable version. Sure, that makes sense. Is read only. Sure. We could have for the project, actually, another one we could have for the project, we could have whether or not the debugger is active. So debugger active. We could even just have like is running. You know, debugger paused. We could have no, I don't think that makes sense. Yeah, like we could just have if we're just running a configuration generally, right? Run config, run configuration name. We could put run configuration type. We could put started running time. Okay, let's come back to here. We could put is image. Sure. Yes, that would be fine. I suppose that doesn't really make any sense actually, because we already have is binary and we have yeah, that's yeah, we don't need that. We could have what else? We could have document is file, right? I don't know, I'm sure there's other ones we can come up with. But those are all the ones I can think of. Okay, so then we need to a way to define like what the Oh, another one we could have actually is in projects. We could have project description. Because that will exist. And we can also have projects license. Okay, like that. Okay, so set items. No. So what we want in the combo box is kind of like a mix of these. So for example, the first line you might have the project's name, maybe. Well, actually, no, because this is what would depend, I suppose, on the mode. So if we do switch on mode, and we can say case application, then we could just say we could say I'm just trying to think how to do this. I guess we can put application name space. Oh, we could just put application name. We could then put application name space application version. There should be an observable array list as well. And we also will need custom as well. So custom. Okay, and then we can do case projects. So this should be project name, and that should be dash description. Project name. Project path. Actually, we can, we can do them like this, I suppose. Okay. Custom won't be like that because custom is just custom. But doing it like this means that we can easily just have like dashes and parentheses and whatnot without just breaking absolutely everything. Okay, and then we can have case documents. We go document name, document path, document type. Sure. We can obviously add more later if we want. Okay, so select first. That's fine. Well, we actually kind of don't want to select first, I guess. We want to select kind of whatever one. Let's do if content dot first line. No, let's do if first line combo box get items dot contains first line property, then it selects first line property, otherwise it selects custom. Yes, that's what I was looking for. And then set on action, selected is not equal custom, then select selected. Okay, then we want a custom thing. So then we'll have a var custom label, custom, and visible bind to equal to custom. That can be an text field, which will be Discord. So what's next after the Discord plugin? I don't know, to be honest. That's where things get a little bit complicated. I think most likely, well, I mean, at some point, ideally, Alex will come and basically do the same as what I'm doing now, but for the Whack-A-Time plugin. Or not the same as what I'm doing now, because right now I'm actually making this plugin better than it was before. But he will need to update that plugin to work with the new plugin API, which, I mean, that should take like 20 minutes. Well, for most people, should take about 20 minutes. So that needs to happen. But in terms of what I need to do next, I don't know, is the question. I don't really want to, but I probably need to start working on the SST again. Because that really is the big thing. I'm just trying to look at, I'm looking at the projects right now, and I'm just looking like, is there anything else that's more important? Ideally, I would work on a loading screen and that kind of thing, but that really does rely on like animations, an animation for the logo, which we don't have, and I'm not good enough to do. So I think that's gonna have to hold off for a while. But I mean, that really is kind of it. I mean, we could do custom index managers, which would involve making like another server similar to Switchboard. So we could do that. But I think that requires... Well, it doesn't really require that much, I suppose. And that would be fairly doable. But I mean, you can see all of these, basically all of these ones that are red, pretty much all of them are blocked by the SST. So that really needs to be what's done next. This actually I can move to done because that is now done. I'm just working on updating the Discord plugin, so screen and GUI builder, at some point someone needs to come and help do that, but it's actually more really this one. That can go back into future plans because that's not in progress. This one is in progress though. Yeah, texture editor, that needs to be... This needs to be a better description at some point of what we actually want from that texture editor rather than what it says. But that's obviously not priority at the moment. Yeah, it really is SST. The only other thing is this. I'm actually going to unassign this guy because he's just clearly not working on it. So yeah, there's that, which I probably could do, to be honest. I am considering doing that. The other option, of course, is just actually make the onboarding system better, because it does have its problems. It's not perfect. Actually, I think errors at the moment. That's because a lot of things have changed recently, of course. So that's not necessarily surprising. But yeah, probably SST, to be honest. Saturday, I suspect we'll be working on SST. Assuming I haven't got this done. I probably won't have this done by then. I don't know. Probably not, because there's quite a lot to do. But I mean, we'll see, I suppose. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Is that right? Let's do this actually. Let's do observable list of string. Line options will be equal to that, because that's going to be the same for all of them, or for the first two, I mean. Okay, is that the same as? Yeah. Okay, this will fine. Look at second and custom field label. Yeah, I don't know how that's custom label. Custom field label. Wait, what the hell is the difference? I don't think that's right. Custom field label. What the hell is this? Wait, what? Second line row. 1 second. Custom field. Custom label. Custom field label. What? Display content or custom. Custom value. Yeah, that doesn't need to exist. Neither does that, even. That can just go. That can just be custom field. Should be the label. So that should add custom label and field, and then this needs to add that, like that. And then this does the same thing. I think I've done that right. Okay, now the third line is a bit different, because the third one is going to be the large icon. Though it's pretty similar. So yeah, I mean, basically the options. So yeah, we'll have an observable list of string, which will be the icon options. Will be switch mode. So that will have application icon. Project will have application icon, project icon. This document will have project icon, document icon, I think. I'm just kind of trusting that it's getting this right. It should do. Large icon text. Yeah, that's the next one. Oh, large icon text, I guess, is a little bit different because this will have quite a few different things. For large this will be text icon options. Yeah, I mean, it's going to want more than that later on, but for now, I mean, that'll do. We can always come back and modify those, like, very easily. Okay, like that. And then small icon. Yeah. These are all pretty much the same, to be honest, so I'll take it. I'll take the wins where we can. This is wrong. Don't know how it managed that one. This needs to be small text verb. That's why you can't just blindly trust it. You have to, even if you trust it, you have to somewhat pay attention, because sometimes it does things like that. Okay. Then after the text, I think we have the buttons, right? Oh no, we have the elapsed time. Okay, that one's going to be nice and easy because that's just a drop down. Nice. Okay, that does need a translation key, so private final string localization key. Yeah, I mean, basically is just that. Yeah, localization key. There you go then. And then the buttons are gonna be a little bit of a pain. Bar buttons. Buttons VBox. We'll do it like this. Okay, obviously this isn't going to have any like validation or anything, but for now this is all fine, I think. Okay, it's claiming that these are not used, but I mean they should be. I think they are. Right? Apparently these all have 5 usages, and these only have 2? How is that correct? I feel like that's not correct. Like, what? I don't know. Okay. Well, I think, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Because we're not close to finishing this. So yeah, we're not even remotely close, actually. So yeah, I mean, I'll see you on Saturday, because I will be streaming probably Railroad again on Saturday. I think there won't be another surprise stream this week. This the only one this week. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and end it here, and yeah, I will see you all on Saturday. Goodbye.